house at the World Snooker Chairman, Barry Hearn, with us. Welcome, Barry. Great to see you. Did you see Sonny's valiant attempt last night against Ronnie?
I was dropping off to sleep, but it was so exciting it kept me up. I'd just come back from Vegas yesterday and couldn't take my eyes off it. It was a great match to watch.
It was an extraordinary match. And Alan, I just wonder if Barry Hawkins, whom Sonny thrashed 6-0 in the last round, I wonder if he's feeling just a tad better about life today.
Yeah, well, players are selfish, and he probably will look at that and say, well, actually, maybe I wasn't too bad.
And one or two others as well, Steve.
Yes, it wasn't just Barry Hawkins. Michael Holt and Fergal O'Brien have felt the wrath of the new Thai sensation, and hopefully we see a bit more of him on our screens as well.
Yeah, absolutely, because you said it best. He did charm everybody. He was absolutely superb last night, I must say. More on this championship very shortly, but Barry, you're here not least to chew the fat with us, but also because you have some big news for us.
Well, I have some great news, and I'm so excited about it because Snooker's done really well last few years. We've had a great time revitalising the game, globalising the game, and we finally agreed a new extension to our BBC contract. It's been going forever. We are part of the fabric of BBC Sport, and we've announced a new deal today to extend our current contract by another 5 years. So a minimum 6.5 years to go to enthrall the nation with one of the fastest growing sports in the world. A sport which is, in this age of linear television, most sports see declining audiences, and we're bucking the trend. You know, snooker's audiences, especially with great events like this week, has been fabulous, and the numbers are there, and the numbers don't lie. And the relationship between World Snooker and BBC has been the fundamental part of our growth plans over the years. It's been the rock that we've built the entire industry around, and we're just so happy that we're going to be with you for a lot longer, Hazel. So I'm afraid you're in a job, I'm in a job, the boys get to work, everyone's happy, and the opportunity being created for sportsmen and women all over the world is being strengthened by this relationship. So I'm delighted to be part of it.
Well, it's been free to air on the BBC since 1969, but this is the 3 Triple Crown events. So it's the Masters, the UK, and the World Championships, free to air until the end of 2024. Ronnie will be nearly 50. Alan and Steve will look exactly the same. I'm sure they will. But Barry, why was it so important to nail this down right now for you? Well, it's a long deal.
It's a long deal. I think my personal feeling is always, as I'm getting older as well, you know, the legacy of what we're trying to build here, you know, to try and encourage people to play snooker, to reward those that are successful, to give opportunity to people from all around the world to play this great game. It's not just a British game anymore. This is a global sport. But you need that bedrock, you need that solid foundation. And what we've done over the last few years is to tie up long-term deals with our chosen partners. So, you know, a 10-year deal with CCTV in China, national broadcaster. You know, sport don't get 10-year deals. We've got it. The BBC has been there from the beginning for us. I mean, when I first got involved, it was, you know, watching Pot Black on BBC in black and white. When the Nugget won his first one, the greatest day of my sporting life, live on the BBC, 18.5 million. The history's there for the Dennis Taylor game. You know, it's created moments that we'll look back on our deathbed and remember. And now we've got another 5 years extension, which is it's a, you know, it's a friendship, it's a relationship that's been built on the basis that we've both delivered what each other needs. We've delivered ratings. The BBC have given us the bedrock of our sport to be able to say to the world, this is snooker at its best. These are the greatest players in the world. It's free to air. Everyone can access this free of charge on the BBC, and that's really where we've built our business from. It's expanded around the world now. You know, we've seen our prize money grow from 3.5 million to 14 million. We've seen that we're getting 500 million audience for the World Snooker Championships. This doesn't come by mistake. This is not an error. This is part of a plan, and an integral part of that plan has been our relationship with the BBC, and we wanted to make that statement. We are here to stay. These are our partners, and we are going to build this sport to levels that it's never been seen before.
We're absolutely delighted about that. I've got to take the side of the fans sometimes in this argument as well, and that is, with all of the profile, and 65 network hours this week for snooker alone on BBC Two, and yet there's still something that sticks in the craw of snooker fans, and that's the fact that no Mark Selby nominated as Sports Personality of the Year. Ronnie O'Sullivan has never been nominated in Sports Personality of the Year. What is going on, and what's your view of that? Because it is now an independent panel. It's not just the BBC's decision. Is this a a reflection of snooker's perceptions within a wider sporting audience?
I think you've got to sack the panel. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, in any business, Hazel, if you don't listen, and myself as a sports promoter, I have to listen to my audience. I have to listen to my target audience. I have to entertain. I can't just make decisions that don't have any commercial value or don't entertain people. This panel, and they are independent, but they must be from another planet. The fact that a genius like Ronnie O'Sullivan has never been nominated means sack the panel, because they're not listening to what the public says. We're seeing basic TV audiences decline in virtually every sport at the moment, other than snooker. Snooker is right. And so the world champion's not been nominated. I'm not criticising those people that have been nominated. They're all there on merit. But really, you have to listen. You can't just go off on a tangent and do what may be politically correct or makes you feel good or look good. And I know there's lots of deserving cases, but you cannot overrule. We don't produce enough geniuses in our sporting world to ignore a talent like Ronnie O'Sullivan. It is stupid beyond belief. And I have to say, it's not the BBC's fault. I think you've got 3 members on a 15-man panel or something.
Like that, yeah.
So my advice, I think we just sack the panel and start again.
OK. You talk about Ronnie as a personality, and he's certainly that. He's had a lot to say over the last few months as well. And last topic before we head in here, he's talked a lot about numpties in the rankings and having a separate numpty ranking list. Now, this has been a little tongue-in-cheek, but it's certainly produced what snookerback has been calling the numpty revolution here, hasn't it?
Well, I think you can take the moral high ground and say it's rather disrespectful to your fellow professionals to use that type of description. But the numpties, if indeed they are numpties, which I don't believe they are, I think they've had their final say, haven't they? We've seen some amazing snooker here. Sport's about giving opportunity to everybody, and the only criteria is the ability of the individual player. The players have spoken. The results are what we see in our own eyes. 2 of the top 16 are in the quarterfinals. Yep. This is a great time to be a snooker player. The opportunity to change your life is there if you have the ability. And what we're seeing is, despite Ronnie's rather tongue-in-cheek comments, we're seeing, as Alan said earlier in that preview piece, there's no gimmies in this game. There are no certainties. They can all play, and we're seeing it every single round of every single event.
Barry, it's always a pleasure. It's always fascinating to talk to you. We'll talk more to you guys later in the programme. He always has a lot to say, doesn't he? But thank you for keeping snooker free to air for the next 7 years or so.
Thank you. Thank you for the air.